Hello all orchid lovers nationwide. Welcome back to my channel, where we share our passion and tips to keep orchids healthy and blooming beautifully. Today, I want to share an experience that many of us have probably gone through, that is, seeing the orchid we cherish being rotten and attacked by mold. I believe anyone who has ever loved orchids understands that pain. Just a little carelessness, after just one night, the leaves will be rotten, the roots will be black and broken, and the whole plant can be lost. From the picture, it can be seen that the orchid is not in a healthy condition. Some leaves have turned yellow and have rotten patches, especially at the base of the leaves, a sign that the plant may be waterlogged or infected with fungus. The roots inside the pot have some dry and shriveled roots. The rest are not healthy and have very weak vitality. I have lost many precious orchid baskets to this disease, and it was those failures that forced me to research, experiment, and then come up with an effective recovery process. Today, I will share it with you as my own practical experience, combined with scientific knowledge of plant physiology. The first thing I did was cut off all the rotten leaves. Tools must be sharp, clean, and preferably a new stamp knife to make clean cuts and limit spread. When cutting, be careful not to cut other leaves to avoid spreading the disease. Cut about 1 centimeter away from the rotten leaf to completely remove pathogens that intend to eat deep into the leaf stem. Next, I removed the old substrate. Many people regret keeping it, but in fact it is a nest of fungi and bacteria. If not replaced, no matter how healthy the plant is, it will be difficult to survive. At this time, the roots are quite weak. You should remove them part by part to avoid crushing or breaking the roots, affecting the growth of the plant. After removing the growing medium, I will use a pair of scissors to cut off all the dry, rotten roots that are no longer able to grow. If If you have any difficulty with your orchid, do not hesitate to leave a comment. I will always be ready to help you so that your orchid can grow healthy and bloom brightly. There are some flower stalks that have withered and cannot continue to grow. We should also cut them off so that the plant can concentrate nutrients and quickly recover. Next step, I will clean the plant with clean water. This helps eliminate 50% of pathogens that exist on orchids. We will thoroughly wash the areas with fungus and remove the dry leaf stalks that are still attached to the tree to prevent fungus from growing. After cleaning the plant with water, we use a clean, soft cloth to wipe away any remaining water. We slowly wipe each leaf. Remember to do both sides. This helps the leaves increase the photosynthesis process metabolism. Your beloved orchid will grow quickly. At the same time, this also helps you clean the orchid once again to remove any remaining harmful substances. Here I will use 1 liter of clean water. I will use 1 teaspoon of baking soda to dissolve with 1 liter of clean water. Baking soda has a very positive effect in caring for and protecting orchids. Diluted baking soda solution can inhibit the growth of fungi and bacteria that often appear on orchid leaves and roots, helping to prevent diseases such as leaf rot, brown spots, and white mold. In addition, thanks to its mild alkaline properties, baking soda also helps balance the pH on the surface of leaves and substrates, limiting the favorable environment for harmful microorganisms. Then I put the whole orchid in a diluted baking soda solution and soaked it for 30 minutes. Soak the orchid in a diluted solution. Stains and white mold on the roots can be cleaned. After 30 minutes, we take the orchid out of the baking soda solution. Next, I will take a soft cotton pad soaked in baking soda and wipe it on the orchid leaves. This is like cleaning the orchid leaves again to help remove any remaining bacteria and mold. Next ingredient, I will use 1 coconut. We will chop the coconut and pour its water into a cup. I will take 50 milliliters of coconut water. Next, I will pour 50 milliliters of coconut water into a cup. I will add 500 milliliters of clean water to the cup containing coconut water. Here I will use a spoon to stir this mixture and leave it for 15 minutes to let it dissolve together. 15 minutes later, the coconut water has dissolved into liquid. We will take out a cup and pour part of this mixture into it. Then I will take out the orchid to take care of. Next, I will use a soft cotton pad dipped in nutrient solution and wipe it on the orchid leaves. We will wipe evenly on both sides of the orchid leaves. Wiping the top side helps the plant to be cleaner and dustier. The bottom side helps the plant to get rid of bacteria and mold. Coconut water is one of the natural organic fertilizers that is very good for orchids because it contains many valuable nutrients such as natural sugar, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, and especially plant hormones such as cytokinin, gibberellin, and auxin. Not only that, the growth regulators in coconut water also help orchids differentiate flower buds well, have large flower buds, brighter flower colors, and last longer. We will soak the entire orchid root in this fresh coconut water for 30 minutes. This method I call drinking milk with fresh coconut water is an experience I quite like. After 30 minutes of soaking the orchid roots in diluted coconut water, we will take the orchid out. At this time, our orchid will be stimulated to grow roots faster. The roots will be thick and healthy, while the leaves will be shiny green, thick and less yellow. Next, I will take cinnamon powder to apply on the orchid's wounds, helping the orchid to disinfect and remove any remaining bacteria on the wound, making the wound heal quickly. When pruning damaged roots and diseased leaves, applying cinnamon powder to the wound will help disinfect and prevent the invasion of fungi and bacteria that cause rot. Thanks to its strong antifungal properties, cinnamon powder forms a dry protective layer on the surface of the cut, helping the wound heal quickly, limiting the flow of sap and reducing the risk of spreading the disease to other parts. When disinfecting orchids, let the orchid rest for 1 day. While waiting for the orchid to rest, we will use the remaining baking soda water we used to clean the orchid to disinfect the pine bark substrate. We soak the pine bark substrate in baking soda water for 1 day to help the substrate remove bacteria, fungi, and insects living in the pine bark. After a day of applying cinnamon powder to the wound, the orchid began to show clear signs of recovery. The cut became dry, no longer wet or oozing sap like before, and at the same time, a thin, dark brown layer of cinnamon powder had formed on the surface, helping to cover and protect against the invasion of fungi. We will plant the tree in a pot with drainage holes at the bottom. We take out the pine bark. After a day of being soaked in baking soda water to disinfect it, the pine bark becomes much cleaner and drier. The mold, moss, or impurities on the surface have been removed, and the inherent sour and musty smell has also been significantly reduced. We will dig up larger pieces of pine bark to put down to help the substrate drain better. Next, we will put the orchid in the pot and then we will put the pine bark in. Spread the pine bark evenly to help fix the orchid more firmly to avoid the tree from tilting or falling. Don't forget to turn on subtitles by pressing CC in the bottom corner of the screen, so you don't miss any details. After adding the pine bark, we will spread it evenly around the pot to help the pine bark penetrate the slots in the substrate. This creates conditions for the orchid to absorb nutrients more stably from the substrate. After planting the tree, I will cover the surface of the substrate with a layer of moss. The moss layer has a very good moisture retention capacity, helping the growing environment to always maintain stable humidity, especially on hot days or when the grower is busy and has not had time to water. At the same time, the moss also creates a natural cushion layer that helps the young roots to cling to, grow healthily, and spread quickly. Ben can do, Rukung GOP fan Ju Cho Jia the Matmi, Han Che Su Boc Hoi Nua Quan Han, Tu Du Jiam AP Luke Ko Han Len K. In addition, moss also helps keep the substrate cool, limiting the rapid evaporation of water, thereby reducing drought pressure on plants. After planting, there is a little coconut water left. I will use it to water the orchid. When watering orchid roots with diluted coconut water, the plant will be stimulated to grow roots faster. The roots will be plump and healthy white, while the leaves will be shiny green, thick, and less yellow. Next, we will take the tree out and put it in a dry, airy place with gentle light to help the tree have the best growing environment. With the remaining coconut water, I will take a soft cotton pad, soak it in this nutrient, and wipe it evenly on both sides of the orchid leaves. Coconut water contains many minerals, vitamins, and natural hormones such as cytokinin, which help stimulate metabolism and enhance plant vitality. When wiped evenly on the leaf surface, nutrients will partially penetrate the epidermis, helping the leaves to be thick, green, shiny, and limit yellowing. At the same time, wiping leaves also helps remove dirt, mold, and small insects on the surface, helping leaves photosynthesize better. The sugar in melon juice is also an easily absorbed source of energy, supporting metabolism, stimulating the plant to sprout and grow strong new roots. In addition, adding melon water periodically and in the right dosage also helps orchids increase resistance and reduce plant decline after repotting or pruning. Thanks to this, the plant is not only healthy but also has favorable conditions for flower bud differentiation, giving larger, more durable and brilliant orchid flowers. During this process, I take care of the orchid every 2 weeks so that the plant has the best growing conditions. After 4 weeks of persistent care using simple but effective methods, I felt the orchid change clearly every day. The thick, glossy green orchid leaves, when the sunlight shines on them, glow a cool green, bringing a fresh and hopeful feeling. The surgical wounds seem to have almost healed. At the same time, thanks to the support of natural antibacterial substances such as baking soda and cinnamon powder, orchids minimize the risk of fungal diseases, rot, and improve overall resistance. Looking at the thick white roots sprouting out densely, stretching out and clinging firmly to the substrate, I know that the plant is truly healthy and full of life. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, click the subscribe button now to not miss the latest shares on how to grow and care for orchids. Next, I will share with you another type of natural fertilizer that will help your plants grow miraculously. Here I will use 1 teaspoon of oatmeal. Oats are a great natural source of nutrition for orchids. Oats contain many B vitamins, proteins, amino acids, and essential minerals that help plants recover quickly after repotting or pruning. To dissolve with strong bird's nest, I will use 500 milliliters of clean water. After pouring water into the oatmeal, I will stir it well, then cover and leave it for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we will take a rack to filter out the residue, which will make the fertilizer finer so that the orchid will absorb nutrients better. I continued to use a coconut and took its water to care for the tree. Like the last recipe, I took 50 milliliters of melon juice and poured it into the strong bird's nest water and stirred it up. I will leave it for 15 minutes to let the coconut water and oatmeal dissolve together into a liquid. After 15 minutes, we take out this nutrient and continue watering the orchid. Coconut water, when combined with oats, creates an extremely useful, natural nutritional mixture for orchids. Coconut water already contains a lot of natural sugar, potassium, calcium, and growth hormones such as cytokinin, gibberellin, which helps stimulate root growth and good flower bud differentiation. When mixed with oats rich in B vitamins, protein, and amino acids, this solution becomes even more complete, providing both easily absorbed energy and adding the necessary nutrients for the plant to recover quickly after pruning or repotting. After watering, just take the orchid out and place it in a dry, airy place with gentle light in the garden so that the plant can continue to grow. After more than 2 months of persistent care using natural methods, I saw the orchid change clearly every day. In the leaf part, The young leaves are long, thick green and shiny, with almost no yellowing or disease spots. Each leaf is full of life, catches light well, helps photosynthesis to take place strongly, nourishes the entire plant. The wounds I cut that day have now healed and become scars. In the root system, young white roots begin to grow densely, plump and shiny. The green root tips show that the plant is absorbing nutrients very well. The old roots also cling firmly to the substrate, forming a sturdy system, helping the plant to be stable and develop sustainably. The harmonious combination of healthy roots and lush green leaves shows that the orchid is in its prime, ready to sprout and bloom brilliantly in the near future. So, we have learned together about extremely effective ways to care for orchids with natural nutrients. Hopefully these shares will help you in caring for your orchids. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next great tips. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.